So, hello and welcome to my today's review of The Legends of Andor. As you can see, I only have the German edition right now, and since the English edition isn't released yet, I think it's gonna be made by Fantasy Flight, and it will take some time. It won't be there in Essen, so there will be little information about it in English, so I decided to do this review of my German copy, but I will try to explain you everything in German, in English, and give you an impression about what this game is about, maybe if it's good for you or not, and yeah, I do my best. My English is not that good, but I hope you understand most things I will tell you. I think I have a real heavy accent, but don't bother, I do my best, and be prepared, this review is gonna be long. If you have read some of my reviews, they are long. If you have seen my the first decent review released here, it was 40 minutes long, and I don't know how long this is gonna be, but it will be long. I will explain you most of the things there are. You see, I have a large table. It's full, plenty of things. There's a lot going on in this game. This game is very interesting, and I like it. And yeah, as far as I can say now, I think Legends of Andor will be one of the hits of 2012. It's one of the best games this year, and Essen is incoming in a couple of weeks, but I don't think we will see a lot of better releases this year, especially for the family, adventure, casual gamer scene. Yeah, but the game is even interesting for seasoned gamers like me, or like most of you who are watching this year on Board Game Geek. Yeah, it's very well done. It's very interesting. It's very easy to learn. So if you don't like complex games, if you maybe have thought about playing decent, and you like thematic games that tell stories, but too much roots, too complex, don't bother. This game is awesome in this whatever. It is just you play. You don't have to read the rules. You just have the rule book. The rule book is what I have on my rule book. Yeah, it's 4 pages long, and there's only explained how to set up the board, what is on the player tables, and how to walk, and that's all. You don't have any ideas about the rules. You can't just read this rule book and play the game with Legend number 4. We have to start with Legend 1, and you learn everything why you play this game. Because the main mechanism of this game is this, how it's called in German, it's a teller or narrator line. This is the narrator, and every time all heroes have finished their turn and are ready with the action for this round, the narrator is moved up 1 field, and always if there is a field with a star, the stars are corresponding to the legend cards, and you see on B there's a B legend card, so we put a star on B, and if there's an A, we always start with A. F, so we put a star on F, and when the narrator hits the spot, we will take the corresponding legend card, read what it's about. Maybe this introduces us into battles, and the next thing introduces us into group battles, and the next card introduces us into how to fight and move monsters, and so on. So you technically learn the game why you play it, and that's a very good idea. I haven't seen it in other games. If you like, or if you know Galaxy Tracker or Space Alert, there's some kind of this idea. So you have the basic rules, and you have to read them, and then you play the basic game, and then there come more advanced games, and that's similar, but this goes further and digs deeper, and you start at the more basic level, and you just learn it while you play. You don't have to remember all rules, you just play the game and learn how it plays. So for example, in the first mission, you just can walk, and your first task is to walk on these fields. These cards are placed on several spaces on the map, and you just walk there. And when you hit this space, it tells you, you've found some gold, or here is a trader, you can do this and this at a trader, or here we have a Brunnen, a well, I think it's in English. You can do this and this as well, and so you just learn the game while you play it, and that's where the first and the second mission is about. In the first mission you learn most of the mechanics of the game, how to walk, how to fight, how to spawn monsters and so on, and in the second legend you learn something about the extra stuff, so about the Rune Stones, about the prince, where's the prince? The prince is here. And so on. After you've played the first two missions, you start, or legends, you play Legends 3, and Legends 3 is where the free play starts, and where you have cards. In English they must be fortune cards or something. They are different. They give each hero a task, and you can play this legend on and on and on. You always get different tasks, and there are several bosses inside of this legend, and you always have to fight and battle against another boss, and so there's a lot of replay value. I don't have told you what the game is all about, but I think most of you will know it's a cooperative game, so all players work together, and they have to pass tasks in Andor. And on the one hand, this game tells a story, so you play Legend 1, Legend 2, Legend 3, Legend 4, Legend 5, and it's a continuing story, which gives you, first you have to save the castle, then you have to find the prince, then you go back, then you have to free the castle, and so on. There's a lot going on. Even on the map is two-sided. On the other side, there is the inner of a mountain where you have dwarfs and then fires and here treasure chambers and trolls, which are and so on. So there's really a lot of going on in this game. There are many creative ideas. I really like this about this game. I hope it sells very well, and there will be a lot of expansions. You can already download the first mini expansion on the website, or in German just right now. But there are some other promotional heroes. I think one is there right now. And yes, while you play this, you live through the story of your heroes. You see the story of Andor, and that's really good. It's very thematic. You just pandemic was thematic too in some kind. You have to cure diseases, but you can do it again, and if you play 5 times this game, you just have done 5 times the same. So in this game, you have 5 different legends, which you can play 1 time, then you can play Legend 3 several times, then you can play with other heroes, because every hero has his own special power. So I will come to that later. So there's I just like to play this game because it's so nicely done, so very well done, and I told you how to learn the game and what is the basic idea. So let's go now, after 8 minutes, that was very short, into some details. And let's start with the heroes. The heroes. This is a hero sheet where you see all about the hero. Here is it's a picture. There's another side where it's the female edition. They are the same, but they're just another picture. And there are also always 2 minis or player figures, one male, one female figure. And so if you have male or female, you can play with the character you like. And here, let's have a look. You have here several spots where you can place items or weapons or a helmet. You can deploy your treasures here up, and then you have your strengths, which you mark here, and you have your willpower. Willpower is always tells you how much life you have. So if you have 0 willpower, you're dead, or you're defeated in the fight, and the more willpower you have, the more dice you're allowed to roll. So this hero can move 3 dice, 4 dice, or 5 dice. Well, the magician, he just can roll 1 die. So it's just life points for him. While the dwarf, yes, 1, 2, 3. Not so much dice he can roll, but he can very easy get strength. And yeah, Thorn, the warrior from Reedland, yes, he also has this normal distribution of dice. And well, that's one thing the heroes differ, the amount of dice they can roll, and they have special abilities. So let's look at Thorn. There are wells on the game board and on the map, and if you use a well, you can get 3 willpower, and then you have more life, you can roll more dice. Very nice, very cool feature. And Thorn has a special ability. If he uses a well, he gets 5 instead of 3 will points. That's very good, makes him very strong, makes him a very good fighter. Shala, the hunter from the wood, her special ability on the one hand is that she can she has more dice than the others, but you have to roll 1 die and then you decide, okay, I take this result or I roll another die. If you roll another die, you can again choose, okay, I will take this result or I will throw another die. If you have 3 die you can roll, then you have to roll the last die and you have to take that result. So if the last throw is a 1, you have to keep the 1. So if the third row is just a 4, then okay, you can do better, you can do worse. So if you just 1 row left, then you decide, okay, I take this 4 and I don't risk to draw to roll a 1. So that's you just have more opportunities. But if you roll with your first die a 6 and the other dice you don't need them, you just say, okay, I take the 6, and that's very interesting to play. And she is, has a bow, and with that she is a distant fighter, I think. And so she's the only person in the game at the beginning which can attack monsters in the field next to her. All other persons have to be in the same field, but she can fire into adjacent fields. Later in the game, the heroes can equip themselves with crossbows and copy this ability, but she has this from the beginning. So, and Lifardus, the wizard from the north, you can see he always can just roll 1 die. He only has 1 die. So if you see here, there are several dice always in the corresponding player power, and he just has 1 die. But he has a special ability that he can, if he had rolled a die and he had just thrown a 1, he can say, okay, I take the opposite side and make a 6 from the 1. Or if he has 2, he can say, okay, let's make a 5 out of it. So he can never draw worse than 4, because a 3 he can turn to a 4, and if you don't have to use this ability, if he rolls a 6, okay, that's fine. But the good thing is in group fights, he can use this ability for other players. So if he rolled a 6 with his first throw, the other heroes can roll their die, and then he can say, okay, I will turn this die over and make the opposite result of him, but only once per fight. And that becomes very strong. Once the heroes have fought several Rune Stones, 3 of different colors, they can use those black die, and you see, they go from 6 to 12 is the best result, and with this die, the magic wizard becomes very powerful, because he can never roll worse than 10, and that makes him very strong, very good. This feature seems a bit lame in the beginning, but once you've upgraded your hero, this becomes very strong. And Kram, the dwarf, he normally in the game you can buy strengths. I will tell you about it later. 2 gold, 1 strength. That's very reasonable. But if he is in the dwarf mine, he can just spend 1 gold to get 1 strength, which makes him very soon a very powerful fighter. And that's because of that, it's not that dramatic that you don't have this much dice you can rule a row. And that's are the heroes from the base game. There is another additional hero out at the moment, but I don't have some. You have just to look up the sheet. I think it's here on Board Game Geek. And yeah, how does fighting works in this game? You look how much willpower I have. So Thorin has 3. If he has 7 willpower, he can use 3 die. Then you take those die, roll them, dice, and yeah, look, take the best result. So it's here the 6. I can say, okay, I take the 6 and not the 5 and 2. And then you add your actual strengths. It's marked with a cube. Always to get more strengths, you turn it up or you put it down. And then you add the result of your best die. So in this case a 6 with your actual strength, let's say 5. So he makes 11 damage. And then you look what monster you're fighting. If you're fighting against this monster, I know it's not a miniature, most of you won't like this, but I think for price reasons that's pretty fair, and it's has some charm. And this monster has 2 strengths and 4 willpower, so it can roll 2 red dice. And so the next player rolls this die, and a 6 and a 3. So he adds the 2 strengths to the die and has an attack power of 8. If I had an attack power of 9, I will make him 1 damage. So that means if he has 4 willpower in the first round, I'll just, after that he has 3. And the fight goes on until one of the players or one of the creatures, hero or creature, is dead. Or if the hero says, okay, I don't want to fight anymore. But if he cancels the fight, the monster recovers and is at full health again. And that's basically how fighting works. But the monsters have the special ability if they roll a pair. So if they roll 2 6s or 2 5s, the result is added. So 5 and 5 makes 10, 6 and 6 make 12, 1 and 1 only 2. But that can make not so strong monster very evil. If he rolls 2 6s and has an attack value of 14, that can be hard for a hero that hasn't upgraded yet. A cool feature is the heroes, if they buy a helmet later on in the game, they can copy this ability. But if you play the wizard, you don't want to buy a helmet. Most of players which played the game with were the wizard and bought a helmet, and then they recognize, I can't use it because I just can roll 1 die, and so you have to think about it. And well, that's most of the things I can tell you about the heroes. Let's take a look at the monsters. The monster values are down here. Let's look if I can see it, show to you. So here are the values for the different monsters. So you have scars and gores and worgen and trolls, and the trolls are very strong. Due to special reasons, the strength of the creatures can go very up. Here you can see how many die they can roll, how much willpower the creatures have, and that's how you, if you fight against a troll, you just put this here on the 12 with the troll symbol, and this here, and then you know, okay, he has 12 life, a strength of 14, he can roll 3 red die, so I roll them, and and 8, 4 and 4 is added, plus 14 makes 22, and a hero has to be very strong to fight against this alone. You can do group fights, so heroes can fight together, then their values are added, but if they don't have enough power to damage a monster, they both get the full amount of damage. So if this monster, this is 22, if the heroes only made 15 damage together, each of the heroes would get 7 damage, so he loses 7 willpower, and you see that's a lot. So you just fight against creatures when you are strong enough to do so. And yeah, other things on the map, yeah, you see there are several fields with numbers. Cards from the legend correspond to the fields and tell you put a monster into field 38 or put a destroy the bridge between 46 and 47, put some marker here, put something here. Yeah, that's there is a sorting of the fields of the numbers. It's not just here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Sometimes you have to search the fields, and if you play with the back side of the map, this is much worse, but you get used to it. And here are some other fields. This is a trader. As I told you, you can buy stuff here from the equipment board. Everything just costs 2, except of the witch trunk. I don't know the word. This makes it stronger, so this gives you a bow where you can copy the hunter ability to attack fields next to you. Shield where you can avoid to lose willpower or cancel a bad event. You can have a potion where you get where you can move for free, and so on. The helmet I've told you. And yeah, let's tell you how movement works. That's interesting. It's very simple indeed. If you have your hero and you're here and you want to move to this field, it just costs you 1 hour. So you move on 1, and yeah, that's all. You can move as far as you want. So if you want to move 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 fields, then you just move yourself onto the field 6. Once you you reached field number 7, you can decide to go to sleep. Then you turn this over and you go on this field, and so to declare, okay, I'm finished with my turn now. But you can also decide to take extra hours and move further or do other actions, but this always costs you 2 willpower. So you have to decide, do I need to have to do this round or maybe later on? And once all heroes have finished their turns and spent all their hours, then the game plays. The game plays against you. So there comes an event card. The monsters are moved. If, they're placed here, here, and here. And then you look which has the lowest field. This is a 6. 6 would move in the direction of the arrow. So this would enter the castle, which is not good. You lose if there are too many monsters inside. This would move to the 13, corresponding to this arrow. This would move here. If they would be in, let's take a look. Where do we have it? In most cases, it's no problem at all. But let's say this monster would move first. Then it would just go over the monster. There are never 2 monsters in the same field. And if this monster would move second, then this would go to the castle, and that's not very good. That's if monsters are placed here. No, the first monster is moved, the next monster in the next round, if you don't defeat them, this moves here, they're very fast at the castle, so you have to stop them. And yeah, there are monsters, those ugly creatures which move, which are activated twice in an activation round, so they move very fast, you have to handle them if they come. And that's the way the monsters are moving. The monsters never attack you, so you can't just decide, okay, I don't want to attack this monster, and everything is fine, nothing will happen to you. But you see, more of the monsters are assembling in front of the castle. They will storm it and enter it, and then you lose the game, so you have to handle with them and have to look, okay, I have to stop this monster and then I'm safe for a round, and you always have to manage. But again, every time our heroes have finished their turn, the monsters are moved, the dwarfs are, the wells are refreshed, and the narrator moves 1 field up. So some things happen. You just, in most cases, you only have time to finish the adventure until here. And yeah, if you take too much time, you won't make it, you won't solve the legend, and that's not very good. Additionally, every time you kill a monster, if no text says otherwise, you put the monster on field 80, and as you see, the narrator one field up. So every time you kill a monster, the narrator is moved one field up. So you just can't go around and kill and kill and kill and kill, because every time the monster, the narrator is moved up, and so you have to decide, okay, let's kill this monster here, let's do this here, I go here, we let this monster pass. You always have to talk to each other and have to decide what to do, what is the best for the group. And yeah, there are other features. There are some monster markers which are placed on the narrator line, maybe here, and every time the narrator hits the spot, they will turn around and let's say, let's place a monster on field 43 and let's place a monster on field 42. This makes the games more difficult for the heroes. Sometimes a goat is put something somewhere on some places, and that's good, but that's very seldom. Most of the times there are monsters, but those are just banned in a few legends, used in a few legends. And yeah, there are other things. There are those Rune Stones I told you about. If any hero has 3 Rune Stones of different color, he gets this black die. Only 1 black die he can use from now on, but he will make at least 6 damage, in most cases 12. If he uses the Potion of the Witch, he can double die result. So he can, if he wrote a 12, he can say, okay, I will take the Potion of the Witch and make it 24 out of this 12. That's very powerful, but this has to happen first. And the other thing is, if you have those Rune Stones, you have only 3 spots where you can place those items, so you can't take anything other except for a shield or a helmet. And yeah, you have to think, is it worth it? In most cases, it is. So, what else do we have here? We have yeah, this little castle. Some adventurers tell you, okay, place this castle on field so and so. In most cases, you just roll for the fields where it's placed, and then you place it there. Maybe a monster comes up to it, and the legend tells you, okay, you have to defeat this monster, but it has a strength if you have 4 players or 40. So you have to beat this. Maybe it rolls a black die. Then you have to beat 46 with your strength. So you have to power up, level up. How do you do that? Every time you kill a monster, you look here. What is the reward for it? In most cases, it's gold or willpower. And then you, whether you take willpower or you take money. With willpower you get more dice, more life. That's good. You have to have a lot of willpower if you fight against a dragon or a troll. But money, on the other hand, is needed for the bow or the helmet, and that's very important in fights. But the most important thing is to push your strengths, because if you have a strength of 10, you made at least 11 damage. In a group fight, this can be very helpful. In some legends, you have to deal with a troll for yourself and just are allowed to fight against him alone. And then you have to have a lot of strength, otherwise you can't win this fight. And yeah, there are some Geröll, it's in German, stone markers. On the other side there is a mine on the map, and you have to discover the mine, and there comes the stones down, and you have to literally fight against the stones, and must roll or have a fight power of the amount or the number printed on the stones to put them out of the way. There are diamonds or jewels which you can collect, which are worth something in some legends. There are here some roads with writings on them, and some in some adventures you just have to bring the message from A to B, or in the other message you just take the backside, and you have to, if the bridge is damaged, you have to have the willpower of 17 to move over it. So it's used for different aspects. as I've told you, every hero has different colored dice, which correspond to the amount of dice you can use. Those items, most of them you can use just twice. So if you've used this potion here, you can take it to move one field for free. You don't have to spend daytime for it, and then you turn it around. Then it's emptied, and if you use it the second time, you discard it and put it back on the equipment map. What I've told you, if you fight, if you just move into a field where a monster is, so I say, okay, here's a monster, I will fight against this troll, I'm strong enough, I think I can handle with him. Okay, so this is the hunter, so he isn't a good example. If you are the magician and don't have a bow equipped, then you move into this field, you spend your daytime for it, and don't do anything further. If you are it's your turn again, if all other heroes have done something, then you can say, okay, I will attack this monster, I take 1 hour for it, I look, okay, I can roll the black die, I roll against him a 10, I have only just 1 strength, maybe he rolls 2 6s, then I haven't beaten him, so I say, okay, I will take another round, so I just spent another hour and fight again and again. And I can do this until I defeated him, he defeated me, or say, okay, let's cancel. And if we fight together, if we have group fights, so let's say if the hunter is here in the next field, he can help me, then we both take 1 hour if you want to assist me in the fight. So I can say, okay, I'm here, you're here, okay, let's fight together. Okay, I take an hour, you take an hour, and then both roll. Maybe he rolls this die, the bow hunter rolls this, says, okay, it's 3, I take. So they have a combined power of 13 plus their strengths both of them have, and that's how fighting works. And what else can I tell you? I think I've told you a lot of things. Half an hour is over. I think most of you don't listen to me anymore. But okay, there are some event cards. Some event cards for the basic game where you learn the rules. Most of the times, here, those are the cards for the first basic games. They have good things, bad things. The same with the normal game where you take those gold cards. There are several events where you recover willpower, where you lose money, where you get money, where some monsters are spawned, and so on. And there are special event cards for the backside, for the mine, where you have a mysterious sea, and with some things inside of the sea, which you can see here. And every time you move on the sea, you draw an event card, and most of those things are bad. And yeah, there are markers. If a legend card tells you, okay, bridge between 47 and 46 is destroyed, you just put an X on it and you can't move any further. Any monsters which are here, which would move to field 46, just can't move. And yeah, I think that's most of the components I've shown you right now. Here are some, well, what's the English word for it? Nebula fields, or mist, I think it's the correct word. You place them unrevealed onto the according spots on the map, you round circles, and then before you play the game, you just shuffle them and deploy them here. And once the hero finishes his turn into such a field or such a sector with a nebula or mist field, he just can activate it, turn it over, and say, okay, I get a gold. Or it's this, he can say, okay, I get to willpower, very nice. Or it's this, he can say, oh, a monster, oh lord, and then a monster spawns next to him. The heroes should discover those nebula fields because their strengths, their skills, they can need it. It's good if they have this scope, maybe it's the right word, because then they can discover on fields adjacent to them what exactly is there. So if there's a monster, they say, okay, we don't reveal it, let's stay it where it is. And yeah, that's pretty much of the components. I think if I want to go into more details, I can tell you more. But yeah, let me try to tell you why I think this game is gonna be a hit. As I told you, it's very thematic. It just it's very mechanic with those arrows, where those monsters moving, and those strengths, which is always the same. That sounds very mechanic, but it's very engaging. The game is interesting. It's not complex. The rules are very easy. You learn them while you play, as I told you. But there's a lot going on the board. There is a Jewess, there's a witch, maybe is a prince who can help you. The monsters are moving. Some legends tell you stuff that you can't imagine, and it's always very challenging. You always have to work together. The game doesn't work if one hero moves here, other hero moves here, another hero moves here, and you say, okay, I play for myself, I try to kill some monsters here, do whatever you want. You won't make it because the narrator would move too fast before you've done something you need. And so you just have to talk, what can I do? You have to take your own decisions, and it's I like this game way more than Pandemic or Defenders of the Realm. I've read on some forums on Board Game Geek that some people think this game has any similarities to one of those both games. I don't think so. It just meets the same spot, so it's for family gamers or some more advanced gamers, but it's very easy to learn, but still very interesting. You can play it with casual gamers, with non-gamers, with hardcore gamers. They all will have a good time, and they all will like it. They want to discover the story. Every person I played the first two Legends told me after them, okay, when do we meet the next time? I want to know how the story continues. I want to play Legends 3, I want to play Legend 4, I want to play Legend 5. And well, if they ever do an expansion, it would be cool if they do this and this and this, and if they release this hero and this mechanic and this new monster and this new map, and all have ideas what they would do if they can expand this game. And that's really good. I've several friends which I told about the game. I told, oh yeah, let's have Legend of Andor at home, let's play it tonight. And yeah, there's gamers which who like some games like Chaos in the Old World or Descent or Tide of Iron and real heavy games, and they told me, oh no, I don't want to play Legend of Andor, this looks stupid, childish, too easy, too much for families, I don't want to enjoy it, but okay, if you want to play it, it's you, I will play it with you. And after they played it, I don't think it will become their favorite game, but most of those gaming friends I had says, okay, I think this game is gonna be a hit, this will be nice, it's appealing to most people, most of you game usually with, not the heavy gamers, but yeah, the wife or the good friend or the person who likes to play games but don't want to learn that much rules. And you can, if you take those type of gamers to the table and let's say, okay, here, that's how you move, that's how you spend your hours, and let's start with Legend 1. You start, a lot is going on, a lot is happening, and they want to know how it's going on, what comes next, what's a dragon, oh here's a dragon, I want to play until this dragon comes, and here on the back side there's a map, and what's happening on this map, which legend is it, and that's very cool. I don't, if I would tell you any more, I think I will only repeat myself. So I'm very enthusiastic of this game. I'm also a person who has thought, okay, I most probably won't like it, and I really like it. So it's worth the money. If you just play those 5 legends and the third legend over and over again, you get a pretty good deal for your money. So you spend several hours have much fun. You are exploring a story and the world of Andor, and you definitely want more from this game. So I think if you buy it and play all the legends, you're sitting there and saying, okay, let's hope they make an expansion, I hope they will do some more stuff. And although you have finished the game and you want more, it's interesting to say, okay, let's play the legend again, and maybe I will take another hero because every hero plays different. And